with another astrological video. This time we'll be talking about the new moon and some other transits that'll be affecting it and your sign in particular. Okay, so just to start off, thank you for all the support. For those watching my videos, liking and commenting, please do keep supporting. I appreciate it, and I plan on posting more videos this year. Okay, that's why I'm rolling out these videos in early January, even though I feel like I'm kind of late. But anyway, I'm a Capricorn, and I feel like it's the perfect time with this new moon being in Capricorn. It's very fitting. I'm a Gemini ascendant, so this new moon is hitting my 8th house. So astrology is lighting up for me, which makes sense why I'm here tuning in with you guys and just giving you the tea on how this transit is going to be affecting you. Now, to start off, we have the new moon on the 12th or 13th, depending on where you are in the world, happening at 23 degrees Capricorn, conjunct Pluto. So let's just rewind. We have had this 3-year transit of this major conjunction of all these planets: Saturn, Pluto conjunct, and then Jupiter joining later on for 3 years in the sign of Capricorn. So Capricorn's been having it pretty rough, and wherever you have Capricorn at in your chart in particular, you could have been experiencing a lot of like heaviness and just like where the pain or struggle probably felt like it just would never end. But now you could have came to a place, you should have came to a place by now where the hardest part is over for most of us. And I can say that, me being a Capricorn. And now we're kind of like that phoenix rising from the ashes, you know, and that snake shedding the skin. Is just that uncomfortable moment of just, you know, of rebirth. And again, we have this new moon conjunct Pluto, all about rebirth. The new moon is all about new energy. So this is what it's about: new awakenings. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is generational, societal energy. Pluto is generational, is a generational planet as well. So we can see these changes in society as well, where we're coming into a new phase. The old phase is over, and now we're just now starting to see new changes being made and rediscovered after a very painful period. The hardest part is over, and we still have some difficulty to get through, because just like a birth is not necessarily painless, right? You're gonna have to have those growing pains, but there's a lot to look forward to. We do have Venus as well in trining with Mars in Taurus, and we have it conjunct. We have Uranus in Taurus as well. So we have Venus trining with, first of all, Mars, which is, this is divine feminine and divine masculine getting together. We love this. I love this in synastry. So trine or conjunction with Venus and Mars, and that's like the most beautiful aspect to have, is a trine. So we can see that there's beauty that's coming with the change, the aggression. We're finding stability, okay, Taurus, and comfortability, also Taurus, in the change, in the unexpected, like in the shakeup that we had to just kind of roll with the punches, which is that Uranus energy, that unexpected change that can be quite painful, and Mars, that anger, that aggression. There was a lot of, you know, breakthrough that had to happen. I feel like now with Venus and Capricorn in a friendly aspect to Mars, because remember, Mars has been Uranus was first retrograde in August, so Uranus has been retrograde for a long time. And we also have Mars has been in its own sign of Aries for a long time. I can think like at least 5 months. So we're seeing like a big change, like a big like after the war. Like I said, the hardest part is over, but trust and believe there's still going to be some difficulties. We also have Neptune in Pisces. Neptune, the planet of dreams, of smoke and mirrors, of glamour and illusion, spirituality, healing. This planet in its home sign of Pisces is going to be trining with, it's going to be sextiling this new moon, excuse me, in Capricorn. So this is a very friendly aspect. We have Neptune on our side, so this is soulmate energy for me, and compassionate vibes, love, unconditional emotions. It's like the higher octave. Neptune is like the higher octave of Venus. So I think we should expect to see with this new moon big changes regarding like how we deal with one another. On a societal level, being more compassionate with one another. We've all had a hard time dealing with a lot of the same big issues and trauma recently, with a lot of the uproars going on in politics, and as far as like the health scares go. So on a massive scale, things have been leveled out to where humans are looking at each other more in a more compassionate light. We have the opportunity to, at least, with this aspect. And also, with being inside of Capricorn, things are still straight business. And also, this is about structure. Capricorn's real structure and the way things have always been. So we can expect a lot of changes regarding the way things have always been. There's still going to be more changes to come. And this new moon is going to set those changes off. But again, it's just really just a breakthrough and showing us, this new moon is going to be showing us how things are going to be changing and moving forward, because we have had that long period of planets in Capricorn for 3 straight years. So for the last 3 years, we're going to see the culmination of the changes leading up to the pain we have had to experience on a collective level and individual scales, because Capricorn is in every chart. We're going to be able to see these changes play out with this new, around the time of this new moon, 3 days before, 3 days after. So you should already be feeling the effects right now. So let's get into the signs. So with Aries, we have this new moon in your 10th house, sextiling Neptune in your 12th house. So your public image could definitely be under a change. You could, career-wise, could have felt upside down the last 3 years, like, you know, just feeling like you couldn't get any help regarding career. It could have been really difficult for you to maintain a consistent job, or a job where you felt like you were valued, or where you were appreciated, or where you felt like you were going to be there for a while and get the benefits that you needed, or that fit into your lifestyle. And with it sextiling, this new moon sextiling Neptune and Pisces in your 12th house. Okay, spirituality definitely plays a huge part. Your prayers could suddenly be answered as far as career goes. You could get a new job, a new windfall of income, because we also have Mars and Uranus in your 2nd house. Okay, so that's Mars is career and work as well, or what we're working toward. And Uranus is unexpected events. So with these two planets conjunct in your 2nd house of income, of earned income, I would say that this would be unexpected. Like, you would feel like at this point you've given up on the hunt, and all of a sudden it's just like, damn, like, oh, things have actually went my way. I got the job of my dreams. My business is taking off. Or, you know, it could be that too. You could also start your own business, or find that a business opportunity is showing its true colors and is actually benefiting you at this time. We also have Venus in Capricorn that'll be trining Mars, and Mars conjunct Uranus in the sign of Taurus in your 2nd house. So this is Venus in your 10th house trining your 2nd house. So again, it's looking like money is looking nice, looking up. Career is looking good. I'm telling you, something's going to come through with your job or your career. You're going to get some well-deserved money coming your way, and it's going to be unexpected with Uranus there, and it's going to be beneficial with Venus there being a benefic planet, and Mars being there. There could be also some kind of help from male figures, or male figures in some point could also be playing a role in your life financially. Sugar daddy? Now, the one aspect I would want to warn you about, I'm warning everyone about, is Saturn Saturn conjunct Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius. It'll be squaring Mars and Uranus. So this is your 11th house squaring your 2nd house. So your 11th house of hopes and wishes and long-term goals is squaring your house of earned income. Like, be careful on the spending. You might be excited, like finally your dreams and wishes are answered, but you might overdo it with the spending. Or like, yeah, something that you're excited about has kind of got you maybe overzealous with your pockets, you know, and things are going your way finally, like as far as finances goes, but you still want to watch it and be careful and be mindful of the spending for now. So moving on to Taurus, we have this new moon happening in your ninth house, sextile Neptune and Pisces in your 11th house. Okay, so you could definitely be feeling like your belief system in some way is going to be blessed. Like, you're going to feel like you finally are meeting up with those people that you believe in what you believe. Like, for a long time, you could have been feeling like you're not being able to express your true self. Like, you could be in astrology, for instance, and maybe your like family of origin don't really rock with it, and then you end up dating someone or meeting people at a coffee shop, or just getting with a group of people that are interested in this stuff, and y'all get to talking and exchanging ideas, and this could be just something that makes you feel freer and more excited about life, because you could have been really depressed for the last 3 years with this transit, with this cluster of planets in Capricorn, with the stellium in your 9th house. You could have been feeling like, you know, your belief system was restricted, how you really wanted to live in some way was held back. You couldn't fully make decisions on your own. You felt stifled or not necessarily very free. You wanted to travel more, experience more, go to new places. Maybe you're meeting new people from long distances, and you're like preparing to go see them, or, you know, there's just some kind of beliefs in the groups, and like, yeah, this is my tribe kind of vibe I'm seeing with this 11th house trining your sextile in your 9th house with this new moon transit. You also have Venus in Capricorn trining Mars and Uranus in Taurus in your 1st house of self. Okay, so this could be a time where you're really happy about your appearance, and, you know, being able, I feel like you're dating. You're like putting yourself out there in a way that's more authentic to who you are, and it's reflecting on your physical appearance. You could be changing your look, changing your hairstyle, going shopping, buying getting a new wardrobe, refreshing your look, and it could be for male and or female company, because you have Venus and Mars, Venus and Capricorn trining Mars and Uranus. So, and this could be unconventional relationships as well, because I'm seeing like Uranus here aspecting your 1st house, and then this 11th house, your 11th house is sextile to your 9th house. So this could be about open relationships, or even like same-sex relationships, or dating either or being sexually fluid even. I don't know why I'm kind of getting that sense. Be forewarned of Saturn conjunct Jupiter in your 10th house squaring off with Mars and Uranus in your 1st house. So again, like your career and your job could be making you feel like held back or stifled, or like you can't fully express yourself or dress how you want to regarding your career or your workplace, or like on social media. You feel like you can't fully express yourself to the public how you want to. And that kind of is probably going to make you feel frustrated on some level, because right now you're ready to like, boom, be out there as far as like your love life goes with how you want to live. And then here you go with like how you are showing up in the world is kind of like challenging that. So I just be mindful of that, Taurus, at this time. So now moving on to Gemini. I'm a Gemini ascendant. I'm all excited about it. So, okay, with Gemini, we have the new moon in our 8th house. Okay, so this is happening in your 8th house, and it's sextile Neptune transiting your 10th house. So this could have been a really like difficult time for you on an emotional level, on a like deep spiritual level. The air signs have been really getting it. Geminis, Libras, and Aquarians because they've all been experiencing Capricorn and this restrictive energy in their respective houses of like, you know, they're hitting more internal emotional houses. So 8th house is about like trauma and like dark shit, dark stuff, like crisis, other people's money, things that we hide. So this could have been a time when you were feeling like restricted, or you could have even went through about a celibacy, because this is a house of sex or intimacy. You could have felt like you weren't really able to get that from partners. And now with this new moon happening in Capricorn in your 8th house, conjunct Pluto, currently in your 8th house. So this is Pluto in its home house transiting your 8th house. So we have a lot of change. This is a lot of transition, a lot of like, ta-da, like a new sexual relationship could reach like a heightened new awareness, a new stability. There could be more intimacy. You could feel like, finally I'm able to get what I need from my sexual relationships. It's not just sex or me being sexually starved or emotionally starved of what I need. Psychologically, you could have felt like there have been some breakthroughs and you're able to understand yourself better. You remember who you are. You're able to do some maybe like past life regression work or something to where you're able to like figure out who you are on an internal level, and it was able to ease up a lot of psychological strife that you could have been going through. You had to do detective on your own psyche basically for this last 3 years, and it's finally paying off, and it'll be reflecting itself in this new moon on the 12th or 13th. So again, expect news, like things to come out from the dark, because the moon is illumination and the 8th house is like hidden dark things. So you could experience like some secrets from sexual partners, or some secrets you could experience. You could discover things or illuminate things, or you could be an astrologer and shine light on like the hidden at this time with this new moon, like I'm doing right now. Hey. Let's see, we also have Venus and Cap in your 8th house trying Mars and Uranus in your 12th house. So that's a beautiful aspect. You could have been having like a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of insomnia. Venus is going to get there and ease things up for you. This could also be a good time of great love making. And like I said, with the 8th house energy, this new moon in your 8th house, your 6th house and the 12th house being bed pleasures, and with Venus sitting there, and Venus in Capricorn is nice because Saturn and Venus they love each other. They get along very well in astrology. So Venus in Capricorn is a beautiful aspect to have in your 12th house. And then with this new moon in your 8th house, I'm just really seeing friendly aspects regarding your relationships, your personal relationships, your sexual connections, your past life connections. Also, any overseas or long distance travel at this time, it could be on your mind, or something that you're really open to. You could even be open to meeting someone overseas, or, you know, there could be you could be communicating with people from long distances, or people that live by the water or that are from by the water. Play out in a lot of ways, I always say. Then you also have Saturn and Jupiter in your 9th house, squaring Mars and Uranus in your 12th house. So you want to be careful that you're not overzealous and kind of bossing people and it's alienating you. Like, you know what your belief system and how you express yourself and how you experience your adventure is kind of challenging your long distance relationships. This could be overseas travel. This could be spirituality, hospitals, asylums, or spending a lot of time alone. That could in some way be challenging your teaching, your learning, your gurus. You're probably spending a lot of time doing spiritual work, and the study that you need to have, the experience that you need to have is lacking, because 12th house is more like that sleepy internal house. And 9th house is like, yeah, I'm out here, I'm on this adventure. It reminds me kind of like the Fool card. So you got the Fool card on squaring like the Four of Swords, or like the Hermit. The Fool card squaring out the Hermit. So it's like, you definitely want to be that hermit and get that information, but you want to balance that with going out and sharing that with the world, right? So that could be the issue you're having So you might just want to like watch that, Gemini. Again, you could be teaching because there's like a lot of energy, your ninth house energy going on for you. And it could just be telling you that you probably need to make sure that you are investing enough time into expressing what you're learning and not just kind of keeping it to yourself or on these long extended retreats of self-discovery or hermit mode. Now moving on to Cancer. Hey Cancer, I have a moon in Cancer, so I'm interested to hear what y'all are going through. But new moon in Capricorn in your 7th house. Sextile Neptune sextile Neptune in your 9th house. Okay, so this could be a time where your relationships could feel more magical, more adventurous, more free. A long distance relationship could turn more serious at this time. Or somebody that you feel like, okay, we believe in the same things. Our belief system line up. When we're around each other, it makes sense. You are finally possibly rediscovering people that you're already kind of seeing and like looking at them in a new light that's more serious, that's more stable, because Capricorn is that stable energy, right? So I'm just really seeing it as you kind of solidifying a relationship, a partnership, finally, because I know you could have been having it rough with all these planets of Saturn, all these planets in Capricorn in your 7th house for the last 3 years. Relationships could have been hard for you. You could have been going through a difficult divorce or breakup or separation. It could have left you feeling very depressed and depleted. But now it's a new time relationship-wise for you. And you could definitely see yourself in a new committed partnership around the time of this new moon. And if not now, around like the 27th. We have Venus in Capricorn in your 7th house, trining Mars in your Mars and Uranus in your 11th house. So yeah, with your relationships, there could just be this sense of ease and like balance, because you got the divine feminine and divine masculine here. And with your 11th house, this is like long-term plans, hopes and wishes and dreams and goals, older siblings. Your relationships with your relationship as an older sibling or with older siblings could be more beneficial and could be more balanced at this time. There could be more yin yang and more give take. An opportunity for a more balanced and exciting connection could be highlighted here. And there's like a definite highlight opportunity for unconventional relationships with this Uranus being in your 11th house, because Uranus corresponds with the 11th house, and it's all about, you know, unexpected events and excitement and unconventional ways of living. So with it aspecting your 7th house, this could be an unconventional relationship, and that is long distance, or they're from another part of the world than you are from, or you guys have different religions or backgrounds in some way. Now the aspect that you should be forewarned about is Saturn conjunct Jupiter in your 8th house, squaring Mars and Uranus in your 11th house. So Saturn and Jupiter could be putting more focus on your 8th house, and this could be like your hidden things, your, you know, like your intimate connections, your sexual relationships, crises. It could be challenging your belief system or your groups, your more public life in some way. The internet. This could be, you know, it could be squaring off. Maybe like a lover has kind of got you distracted, or like trying to establish a close bond has kind of got you distracted from work or business, or just relating with friends. Or you could be MIA right now because you're more focused on like your psychological development, or, you know, like studying, or just diving deep and being more hidden. You sound like you're going through a little bit what Gemini is kind of going through, where it's like their public life is being challenged by their sense of expression in the world is being challenged by their need to retreat. So you, like I told Gemini just now, you want to make sure to balance those two out. You want to make sure that you're putting enough focus into your groups and like the internet and networking, because 11th house is networking and groups that we choose. So you chose these groups. You don't want to abandon them completely for, you know, your psychological well-being, or like, you know, you want to learn to balance, especially as a Cancer. I know you can get moody. You want to make sure to be able to not just drop the workload once you feel some type of way. Okay, and so that's the only aspect I would warn you about this for this new moon. So now moving on to Leo. Leo, we have the new moon in your 6th house, the new moon in sign of Capricorn in your 6th house, trine Mars conjunct Uranus. I'm sorry. We have the new moon in your 6th house, sextile Neptune in your 8th house. So this new moon could be lighting up a new routine for you, new daily activities, and it could be regarding like just diving deeper into astrology, self-discovery, sexual intimacy, deep stuff, crisis. It's like you're coming to a place where you're not afraid to do those things on a regular basis. So I can see you just, studying astrology more, or incorporating it more into your everyday routine, or incorporating some kind of self-help and self-awareness into your everyday routine, or you and a sexual partner just like come to a place where it's finally y'all able to relate on a everyday basis without conflict, without trouble. Over the last 3 years, it could have been like a lot of problems as far as like your everyday work and like your everyday routine goes, or your work, your workplace. That could have been like up and down, or it just could have been a place of like stagnation for you, or difficulty, or stress. Your work, or your everyday routine, or your relationships with Virgos, because 6th house is the Virgo house. So with Virgo, with this position sextiling Neptune in your 8th house, you could definitely be feeling like more apt to, like I said, heal yourself and self-heal on an everyday basis, indulge in spiritual practices on an everyday basis, whether that be prayer, religion. It could like literally go a lot of different ways. You have Venus and Capricorn in your 6th house, trine Mars and Uranus in your 10th house. So definitely this is a time where career-wise you could unexpectedly get a windfall. Yeah, it's looking like your everyday routine or your work is definitely looking up for you. Money's looking good. You can definitely be getting like some kind of payout, because 8th house rules debt and taxes and other people's money and finances. So yeah, you can see yourself getting like a windfall, some money coming in from a financial source that's outside of yourself, like something that you really didn't necessarily have to work for. It's like a blessing that's going to come, but not necessarily out of nowhere, because we have Uranus in your 8th house. Because we have Uranus in your 10th house. So 10th house of career and public image. I'm really seeing like like I said, your job and your career really taking off. You developing more of a sense of self, expressing your artistic integrity on a public scale. So maybe doing something as far as like public performance, but it would definitely be something that you would do on a consistent basis, but something that you really enjoyed, with Venus being there, aspecting your 10th house and your 6th house. Those are both earthy work houses. So with Venus and Mars there, this is divine feminine and masculine, and then your 8th house being aspected, I'm really seeing kind of like some kind of financial backing that you're getting from someone, and where you're able to express yourself and your true identity and your true, like if someone were to invest in an art project you had, like if you were like I'm a painter, like if somebody were to give you a loan for you to make a series of paintings, or something like that, something that you already know that you love, but you would be getting like a huge financial benefit from it around this time. It'd be like a who you know type thing, basically. Like you didn't have to work very hard, but you're able to show off your expertise. With Virgo, we have the new moon in your 5th house. The moon in Capricorn in your 5th house, sextiling Neptune in Pisces in your 7th house. So relationships, they can be lit up at this time. Definitely romance. Okay, a newfound relationship or a new sense of harmony in a already stable connection, because this is Capricorn, which is old energy. So are you like booed up right now, or like you like in a renewed honeymoon phase with Bae, or is this a new romantic partnership in general? Because 5th house is flings. Ooh, you hear that? That's a sign. I don't know if it's good or bad, but 5th house rules like flings and romance and love. True love is the house of true love. And 7th house is relationships and marriage, partnerships, contractual agreements. So you and a marriage partner could be feeling like, right, pretty much right now, are like willing to work on the issues, or you already have, and now it's time to like refresh yourselves and shake yourself off, because this stellium of planets has been in your 5th house. So the romance and the fun could have definitely been feeling sucked out of the place, or your relationships with any Leos could have just been feeling like, right? Because I notice with the houses, when we have transits, we will experience like heavy energy, or people that come in with those signs that correspond with that house. For instance, like if you have a heavy 10th house transit, you will have a lot of experiences with Capricorns. So excuse me. So yeah, it could have just been a time, like I said, where you're feeling like restricted, or your relationships with your children could have been difficult for the last 3 years, because Capricorn has been in the sign. Saturn has been inside in Capricorn conjunct Pluto, and then Jupiter later on joined, and this was all happening in your, I'm missing a planet, but anyway, this was all happening in your 5th house. So that was like pretty painful. Like again, like the fun could have felt like it's been sucked out of the room for you for like the last 3 years, and now's the time where you're like, finally I can have fun, I can enjoy Bae again. We're kind of over the issues, we're getting along better, we kind of solved like a lot of psychological problems, or like a lot of the problems that we didn't really speak about, because Pluto is still aspecting your 5th house, still in your 5th house, is saying that there's like a lot of deep and dark changes, a lot of secret obsession and like muddy stuff that you guys had to kind of like turn over and change to kind of get to where you are now, back to this honeymoon phase, which is why you're here, because it's like you have a renewed sense of, you know, love for one another, and you view each other like new people again after probably difficult time in your relationship. And if you're single, this could have been a time where you felt like dating just was like not the thing, and you were having a hard time in love, and just feeling like you weren't able to connect with anybody. And now you've been able to just kind of feel like, okay, great, finally I'm able to kind of connect with people and kind of get myself back out there, and it's not this stressful thing where I'm like feeling like rejected, or people I'm not really connecting with. I'm wanting a deeper connection, I'm not really getting that, because Pluto, they want those like Pluton, you know, Pluto, that energy. It's like you wanted something more serious from your short-term connection. Because 5th house is kind of flingy house. So you have Saturn conjunct Jupiter in your 6th house, square Mars conjunct Uranus in your 9th house. You want to watch out for that. Your everyday routine could in some way be threatening your belief system, or your work could be somehow challenging your spirituality. You know, you could be an atheist, but you are working at a Catholic school, for instance. Something about your job or your everyday routine, it's not really tying in with who you are at the core. So you might want to like watch out for that, because that could be really draining on a personal level, when, you know, we can't really express our beliefs because we have to stifle them, or kind of like hide them away when we're trying to like do something that's more practical. That's why it's kind of good to try to marry the two. So you want to try to keep that in mind this month. Venus in Capricorn in your 5th house, trining Taurus in your 9th house. So your spirituality or long distance travel could be a big possibility for you and a bae. You and a romantic partner could find yourselves traveling, going on, again, a honeymoon. Or you could be going out on a lot of dates, or talking to different people, traveling and meeting different people, dating long distance, or doing like a lot of online dating, and meeting up with people that you've met online. Yeah. that's pretty much all I have for Virgo. Libra, this new moon is in Capricorn. It is taking place in your 4th house. Sextile Neptune and Pisces in your 6th house. So this is definitely so emotionally, you could see a big change. There could be an emotional tie that kind of gets triggered for you, or relationship with your mom, because 4th house represents the mom, the emotions, the home. There could be a change of residence. You could move because Pluto is still in your 4th house currently, and you could have experienced like a lot of changes regarding like your home life, or your roots, your family. A lot of big changes for the last 3 years, a lot of ups and downs regarding like your family life. And with Neptune and Pisces sextiling this position in your 6th house, this is talking about your work life in some way affecting your emotional state or your home life. So you could just have saved up enough money to move on your own, or move into a more comfortable neighborhood, or emotionally get closer with someone, because the new moon in Capricorn is more stable energy. So yeah, you could be experiencing a time where you kind of stabilize things emotionally. Sounds like a beautiful time, honestly, for you. Capricorn in your 4th, Venus in Capricorn in your 4th, trine in Uranus and Mars in your 8th house in the sign of Taurus. So this could be a time where, again, emotionally, you could be feeling like more peaceful or harmonious. Venus is there, so there could be a relationship, like that kind of makes your heart kind of just kind of go, in your chest like the cartoons. And yeah, with Mars and conjunct Uranus in the sign of Taurus in your 8th house, this could be a sexual relationship that's emotionally very sentimental for you, and the connection could deepen around this time. You could be experiencing a lot of changes, unexpected changes, or unexpected love affair from a sexual partner, or chemistry in the home life, or more intimate settings. There could be a lot of changes that people won't really see in your work life, or they could start to see because you have Neptune and Pisces in your 6th house sextile this new moon. So your work life, you could meet this person at work, for instance, or something like that. Or you could meet someone at work, a lover at work, a little work love affair. Oh, that just reminded me of this movie that I love called The Office, about this office serial killer. That has nothing to do with love. I'm going to move on. You also have Saturn conjunct Jupiter in your 5th house in the sign of Aquarius, squaring Mars, conjunct Uranus in your 8th house. So, yeah, your romantic life could be kind of complicated in some regard. Like, it could be hidden. You could be trying to keep it to yourself. And the lover's like, no, you're not going to hide me. Like, you be dealing with a side boo situation or something where you don't have them totally acclimated into your life, your conscious life. Because the 5th house is ruled by Leo, sun, like daytime, and it's like the romance house too. And then with the squaring your other sex house, these are both 2 sex houses, it's kind of like there's like a challenge regarding your relationship. It's like the sex part and the hidden part is challenging your expression. So maybe you're hiding a relationship, and maybe this person wants to be more on the surface or more official. And you do seem like you're solidifying a relationship. Relationships do seem to be the talk for you, Libra, which is probably nothing new because you're Venus ruled. Moving on to Scorpio, we have the new moon in your 3rd house, sextile Neptune and Pisces in your 5th house. So this is definitely talking about your like travel, your short distance travel, your siblings, house of siblings, neighborhoods, and it's in beautiful harmony with Neptune in Pisces in your 5th house. So, I mean, I would say this is a good time for romance, especially with people in your neighborhood, reestablishing, falling in love with your neighborhood again, or reestablishing relationships with siblings, making up with siblings, or having connections with siblings that are more less toxic. There could have been a difficult time regarding like your siblings and your friend groups in this last 3 years with this cluster of planets in the sign of Capricorn, all in your 3rd house. Could have been feeling like you just could not get a break. Could have been feeling like you were moving a lot, or there were a lot of changes regarding like your neighborhoods because, Pluto was here too. So now is a time where you're reestablishing more fun and excitement and more jovial period, because 5th house is a fun house and the 3rd house is the jokester house as well. So you could just be having more time, more fun with your people, and also fun connecting with people online or on the internet. That could have been something that you weren't doing, or there seems to be some kind of new opportunity regarding like your neighborhood or your immediate surroundings. You also have Venus in Capricorn in your 3rd house, trining Mars and Uranus in your 7th house. So definitely a time where you're pretty much expecting relationships to be unconventional at this point. You got Mars and Uranus there. You got Venus in Capricorn in your 3rd house. So it's looking like you're welcoming, you're being more open to your immediate environment. You're taking a more analytical approach to your relationships and love, and a more detached and unconventional way of relationships. So between that and Venus in your 3rd house and Taurus, which is Venus ruled in your 7th house, I'm seeing this as a time where you're just Uranus in Taurus, Mars is there, divine feminine and masculine meeting up in your your travel house. It's just looking like a time where you're having more fun with relationships. You're not taking them too seriously, which is different for a Scorpio ascendant. Like Scorpios in general are pretty intense regarding like their lovers. But I see you like really experiencing a time where, you just had a hard time the last couple of years in your relationships, whether it be siblings or friends, or even, like I said, moving a lot. So right now you just kind of want to enjoy yourself and enjoy your relationships for what they are. And not be so controlling, which is, again, so weird to say to a Scorpio. The one aspect that I would warn you about is Saturn conjunct Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius in your 3rd house, squaring off with Mars conjunct Uranus in Taurus in your 6th house. So this is short distance travel. This is Gemini energy. This is siblings and cousins, immediate surroundings, your neighborhoods, challenging your routine in some way, how you do things on an everyday basis. So maybe you don't dig your neighborhood too much. or maybe your new job is some way challenging your relation or your income, or how you're doing something on about something could be challenging your fun or your more lighthearted area of life. Like you could be very meticulous or anal about some things, and then people around you could just kind of be a little bit careless at this time. It could play out like that. So moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn, this is your time, because happy birthday, by the way. The new moon is in your sign. So this new moon is happening where else? Your first house. So you could have, first of all, been changing that hair, that body, lost weight, gained weight, got new hairstyle, tattoos, removed teeth. The changes could have been drastic with this new moon aspect in your first house, and with this Capricorn stellium happening in your first house over the last 3 years. And Pluto was one of those planets, and Pluto is still currently in your first house, and it's conjunct this new moon. So again, big changes to your first appearance, your first house, your body, your life, aspect in your 7th house as well. So you can find yourself in a new committed partnership right now, whereas relationships could have been difficult for you the last couple of years, and your self-image could have been going through a lot of changes. Now those things, it seems like you're going back, you're looking back and clocking like how far you've came, and now you're in a more settled place and expressing yourself physically in a way that's more true to who you are now. And again, relationships seem to be popping too, because this new moon conjunct Pluto is aspecting your 7th house. So this is like deep intimacy, sexual relating with a romantic partner. And Neptune is there, sextile and the whole thing, and that's in your 3rd house. So you could just be feeling like your everyday routine is beautiful. Like there's more happiness and laughter and peace and joy, and again just fun, because 3rd house is a fun house. You have Venus and Capricorn in your 1st house, trying Uranus, Uranus conjunct Mars in the sign of Taurus in your 5th house. So there's just, romance again is blossoming and blooming. You're looking beautiful with Venus in your 1st house. Take advantage of this time to be wooed and booed up and go on nice dates. You could be feeling like lavish and spoiled and happy and getting a lot more attention than usual, because of Venus aspecting your 1st house and just making you a lot more attractive, and it'll make you a lot more receptive towards others, and people just dig you a lot more and just want to be around you, and you smell better and you feel better and you talk better, you got better game. And then with your 5th house being aspected by Venus with Mars and Uranus sitting there, this is divine masculine and feminine coming together with aspecting your 1st and 5th houses. So it's looking like if you're dating somebody, they're eating this up. Romantic partner is loving this. They are all over this. They're pretty much investing their time into like wooing you, or taking you out on dates, or even like expressing themselves on a romantic level, because the 5th house is about performance art and creativity, which is a romantic thing too, which makes sense as to why the 5th house represents romance too. So they could be really going out of their way to show you unconventional ways in which they really are like vying for your affection. Or they could also have Leo vibes, or you could be dealing with Leos, because the 5th house rules Leos. The one aspect that I would warn you about that I'm warning every sign about is Saturn conjunct Jupiter in your 2nd house, squaring Mars conjunct Uranus in your 5th house. So your finances could be a challenge at this time. Like you'd be overspending, just having a little too much fun in romance la la land, and just not watching your budget. Or you could be driving a love interest into debt because they want to spoil you and woo you. But I would definitely just watch out for my spending habits around the time of the new moon, or just this month in general. Definitely want to watch out for that, and that your lover is being financially responsible, or that there's no rift regarding finances, or them feeling like, oh, I've overspent. They turn around, they're upset about how much they've invested in you. You don't want that to kind of arise. So just kind of be aware how the energy might be able to play out. And last but certainly not least, we have Pisces with this new moon in Capricorn in your 11th house, sextile and Neptune in Pisces, in your first house. So this new moon is aspecting your first house, so you could be experiencing some changes, but it could be more so on like a larger scale, like a wide scale, or like your friends would notice these changes, or people close to you, or your groups, your organizations could in some way be experiencing like a makeover, a newfound energy. You could be reestablishing stability and a sense of routine when it comes to your groups or your like long-term goals. You could be buckling down and actually getting more serious about your like your circle, your tribe, people that you actually like mess with. And it could be something that you end up like, it could reflect on your physical body, your first house. You know, it could be somehow making you look better or reflecting on your life in a better way. Like the people that you're associating with at this time could in some way affect how you look out there in the open. You also have Venus in your 11th house trining Venus in Capricorn in your 11th house of hopes and wishes and dreams and long-term goals and communities, activism, the underdog, represented by Uranus. It's trining Mars and Uranus in your 3rd house of short distance travel, of siblings, of is represented by Mercury. So this is like detail oriented energy, you know, in harmony with energy that's more like, again, your tribe, your groups of choice, the people that you really resonate with after discovering what your beliefs are, because you got 9th house and 10th house, 11th house. So these are people that you really dig and vibe with. It seems like there's some kind of great relationship going on, or you could have some kind of, you could have more time invested in short distance travel. There could be a lot more travel going on with people that you really connect with, friends. You could be planning on like group vacations or group trips and stuff like that. You're definitely being more active and more social, which is not usually the water signs seem to be letting loose. Like you and Scorpio, for instance, are not taking relationships as serious as you usually do, and I'm here for it. I am so here for it. Like, just, you know, having more fun, especially right now with the climate of things. I think you've kind of like, as a collective energy, you are Pisces, you're kind of getting this sense where this is really a time where we need to just be grateful for the moment and live in the moment, because you don't really know what that next moment is going to be like. And that's kind of the beauty that does come from strife and struggle, is like realizing the gifts and the blessings in life. But you also have Saturn conjunct Jupiter, right, in Aquarius in your 12th house, squaring Mars conjunct Uranus in the sign of Taurus in your 3rd house. So you want to watch out for sleepless nights and not getting enough rest because you're out with friends too much and being too busy and like focusing too much on like being on the go, moving too fast, that you don't get enough time to like rest and retreat and regain that energy. Because as a Pisces, you know, you can get drained easily by people with Pisces being on your ascendant. You can very easily get drained. Your vitality can get drained if you don't get that time, that necessary time alone. So that's all I have for you and for the rest of you guys for this new moon in Capricorn, this beautiful new moon in Capricorn. That's actually going to be really exciting. I'm very excited about it. Just new opportunity, new change, big business, government will be making more shifts. And again, this is not the worst is over, but we still have some growing pains. But embrace the changes, because where we were before was a lot more difficult. We're just having to step into our new identities right now. Thanks for watching. I'm Kimra here with Kimstrology, and I'll be back with more tea, okay, very soon. I'm trying to post quite consistently this month, so stay tuned, okay? And if you want a personal reading, be sure to email me at pinkwithastrology@gmail.com, and follow me at Kimstrology on Twitter. And yeah, look out for more videos from me. Bye.